All right, so actually, Nicholas will be the one to step forward. He'll knock on the door, wait for an answer. Eventually, the door will open. Hello there. The door will open, and you will see an older woman, very insanely long black hair, dressed mostly in a lot of black, with very piercing red eyes. She'll just look down at you and sort of grumpily say, "Yes, what do you want?" The woman looks over at Sid and figures who you're probably here to talk to. Listen, my daughter's not taking visitors right now, and from the kitchen you hear someone say, "Hey, Raven, honey, is someone there at the door?" No, Ty, it's no one. It's nobody important. Let them in, Raven. Fine. She'll step back and hold the door open for you guys to come in.
Raven, you are a person.
Raven sort of makes note of what Sid says, but just sort of lets it go. You see a man, an older man, blonde hair, walk into the room. It's like he'll walk up to Sid and offer his hands. It's like, "Pleasure to meet you. My name's Tai Yang." Pleasure to meet all of you. I'm sure you've already met my wife, Raven. Raven will sort of grumpily look over at you guys and be like, "Charmed." Ty Angle didn't take a step back and be like, "So, what are you guys here for?" Raven will interject and be like, "They're here to talk to someone. I think we both know who they're here to talk to." Ty will be like, "Oh, yeah, hang on a second, I'll go get her." He'll partially walk up the stairs and be like, "Yang, come down here, there's some people to see you." From upstairs, you hear a very loud thud as if someone just rolled out of bed. And then you hear the door squeak open, you hear sort of a groggy, "God damn it, Dad, 5 more minutes." Raven will go to the stairs and be like, "Yang Xiaolong, you will get down here right now, or I will drag you here myself." You hear a groggy response of, "Oh, shut up, Mom." "I'm serious, I will." It's like, "Fine, I'm getting up." Nicholas nods at your suggestion and turns to Raven and Tai Yang is like, "May we be seated?" "Oh yeah, absolutely. Make yourselves at home." Raven's like, "Yeah, I guess." So you all take a seat, and a few minutes pass, and eventually you see a woman with long blonde hair walk down, still dressed in her pajamas. And Raven's very mad about this. She's like, Yang, I swear to God, you couldn't even bother to get properly dressed. Yang's like, I'm in my own home, Mom. Give me a break. Lily will actually stand up and walk over to Yang and offer a hand. It's like, hello, you must be Yang? My name's Lily. It's nice to meet you. Hey, Lily. She'll take Lily's hand and shake it. It's just like, I've heard so much about you. I have a lot of questions for. And then Lily will hear a click. She'll look down and see she's holding an arm. She's like, what is? And then Yang will break into a fit of laughter. Gotcha. And Raven, you can just see Raven in the background just face palm like, I swear to God, Yang. Come on, Mom. You gotta hand it to me. That was pretty funny. Raven will walk over to like the kitchen table and just put her head down and be like, "Yes, so Ty, if you could please just punch me here until I lose consciousness because I can't deal with her right now." Oh, come on, Mom, you're overreacting. No, no, I very much am not. Nicholas is just sort of like, "Yes, this is Yang Xiaolong, all right."
Yang Xiaolong, everybody. This is certainly like her.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have way too much fun with this. I have something to tell you. Oh, I get it. Weiss sent you here. Right. Uh, Crap. I forgot what I was going to tell you. And it's just, Raven's just like, Yang, you cannot be serious right now. I just got up. Leave me alone, Mom.
This is this is certainly Yang Xiaolong, everyone.
Raven just sort of scoffs and rolls her eyes. It's just like, that is not nearly enough time for Yang to remember anything. Yang just sort of pouts like, Mom, get off my case. Just like, and Raven's response is, I will, when you learn to stop being a lazy piece of crap. And Marvin sort of just looks over at this and is just like, well, it's nice to see these two get along. Tai Yang kind of chuckles like, yeah, no kidding. Yang sort of spends a minute trying to think about what she was supposed to tell you. Um, hmm. Nope, lost it again. Just like
One eternity later.
Raven actually, in the time it takes Yang to ponder over it, makes you all tea, and even has time to frickin' bake you scones. She's just like, this is going to take a while.
do 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 do.
Eventually, Yang will sort of look like she has a light bulb moment. It's like, I remember what I was supposed to tell you. What I was supposed to tell you was that I was supposed to have someone come here to tell you something else important. And just like, it's Raven just looks at Yang for like a solid minute. It's just like, and then looks at the coffee table. It's like, if this coffee table wasn't so nice, I would drive my face through it right now. Hang on a second. I gotta go make a phone call real quick. She'll go upstairs to grab her scroll. Raven sort of groans and looks at all you. It's just like, do you see what I have to deal with every day?
I wonder what the other people are thinking of this with Sid here.
At least the weather's good. Nicholas will actually turn to Raven and be like, now, we don't know the exact details, but I hear you and Yang didn't exactly have a very warm relationship for a long time. Raven's stance will soften a little bit and she'll be like, yeah, I will not deny the fact that for a lot of Yang's life, I was a less than stellar mother. Ty will then pitch in and be like, honey, honestly, you were pretty shit. You were a pretty shitty mother. And Raven's just like, yes, yeah, fine. Yes, I was. I was a very, very terrible mother. But after everything that happened with Salem, it kind of put a lot of things into perspective for me. I realized that I really should have been there for her a lot more. But thankfully, I'm here now and just making up for lost time, I suppose. After that, Yang will come back down. It's like, all right, he'll be here any minute. Who will be here any minute? Well, I was supposed to get Ironwood here, but he's kind of busy right now, so I just called up his second in command.
Oh. Oh, wait, no, I'm not there. I'm just like, even I'm like out of character. Oh.
A few minutes pass, and then you hear a knock at the door, and Yang's like, I got it. And then you hear Yang be like, well, if it isn't Mr. Ark himself. She'll step back and open the door, and in walks a man wearing a hoodie with blonde hair and what looks like a sword and shield on his back.
Big match, John!
Hi there. So what did you need exactly, Yang? Well, I was supposed to have Ironwood come here and inform these guys of something. She points over to your group, but he was busy, so I figured you'd be available. Oh, right. What exactly was I supposed to share with them? Yang will quickly whisper it to John, be like, "Oh, right, that." So you're some of Beacon's new hunters and huntresses, right? All right. Well, I'm here because I'm supposed to warn you of something. I'm assuming most of you are familiar with the name Adam Taurus by now. Nicholas just sort of pushes his glasses up and scowls like, yes, we're decently familiar with the name. Well, you see, he's currently operating with someone that I'm supposed to warn you about. Adam's not actually fully in charge of the operation he's a part of. Marvin sort of curiously looks over and is like, really? Uh, I wouldn't take Adam for the kind of guy that follows orders. Jean sort of scowls and is like, yeah, there's a lot of things he isn't. But anyway, you're also aware that there is sort of a scattered splinter group of the White Fang, right? Again, yes, we are fairly informed of that. Well, Adam's sort of their second in charge. The first in charge is this guy. Jean will pull out his scroll and show you a picture. It's a guy in a sort of like well pressed purple suit top, a black dress jeans, and sort of a modified fedora.
Oh no.
This guy's name is Marcus Singe, and he's the leader of the renegade White Fang that Blake's White Fang has to deal with more often than not. Nicholas will make note of his attire and be like, that looks very familiar. His attire kind of reminds me of Roman Torchwick. John will reply, yes, you're familiar with Mr. Torchwick, I assume. You could say that. Yeah, he's sort of modeled his strategies and whatnot after Torchwick. Marcus kind of idolized him. Huh, I see. Well, that's certainly troubling. If he's even half as smart as Torchwick is, this could prove to be a problem. Yeah, that's exactly why I have to warn you about him. Because we believe that he might be eyeing Beacon. Lily's sort of like, what? He's... Oh no. Nicholas is sort of like, Beacon can't seem to catch a break, can it? Yang's like, yeah, no, it really can't. Well, we'll be there to support you guys, but I get the feeling dealing with him might fall to you. So, sorry about that. Marvin will speak up and be like, no, it's not a problem. Right, Sid? All right. Just need you kids to, stay on guard is all. Anyway, that'll be all. Yeah, thanks for informing them, John. I would have remembered eventually. John sort of deadpans is like, no, you wouldn't have, Yang. And then Yang's like, yeah, no, I wouldn't have. Yang, Yang just sort of sheepishly scratches the back of her head. Jean just sort of hangs his head and is like, God damn it. Well, anyway, you all take care. I've got some things I gotta deal with for the Atlas military. He'll then bid you all adieu and then head back to his transport. Yang's like, well, that was enlightening. Raven just looks at Yang. It's just like, so should I buy you a notebook so you can actually remember shit, Yang? Yang's like, nope, because I'd probably just lose it anyway. Yeah, you probably would. Raven is so done with this shit right now. Tai Yang's sort of just like, well, you still got some time before you gotta go, so again, just make yourselves at home. Marvin will look over at Tai and be like, thank you. All right, so Tai will head back to the kitchen, presumably get more stuff for you guys, and Raven will follow him. Yang will then sit down with you guys and be like, So, what brought you guys to Beacon? She'll start by looking over at Sid. Yang will nod, kind of impressed, like, oh, a drifter type. Nice. She will then look over at Marvin and be like, what about you? Well, I was just a farmhand, and we got attacked by Grim once. I did pretty well holding them off, and so when the Atlas military rolled in, one of their generals said that I might be very useful over here at Beacon, so I decided to apply. All right. She'll then turn to Lily and be like, well, what about you? Beacon feels like the safest place someone like me could be. Yang tilts her head like, what do you mean by that? She'll then brush her hair back, and you can see that her ears aren't normal ears, they're bat ears. So it's like, oh, you're a faunus. Yes, I am. And where I lived, we had to deal with a lot from, well, Lily kind of stutters, and Yang's like, from Taurus, right? Lily sort of sheepishly nods, like, yes, him. Beacon is sort of my way of staying safe, mostly for the people that care about me because they don't want me to get hurt. And, well, given how some of the attacks on our place went, you'd understand why I'm still kind of not fully agreeing with Clover's decision to make me the team leader. Nicholas will put a hand on Lily's shoulder and be like, Lily, it's all right. You're meant to be here. I'm sure if anyone will assure you of that, it's him. And he'll look over at Sid as he says that. Isn't that right, Sid? Lily will look over at Sid and smile. It's like, thank you, Mr. Sid. Uh, Nicholas will look at Sid and be like, you'll just have to excuse her. She's a very polite girl, to a fault, honestly. And then Yang will finally look at Nicholas and be like, "What about you?" As soon as she says that, you can see Nicholas visibly just all the optimism and sureness of himself just disappears. He starts looking very distraught. Yang's like, I'm sorry, did I say a trigger word or something? Nicholas will then take his hand off Lily's shoulder and pull out his weapon. It's in its gun form, and you can all see the inscription JS on the barrel. And Lily sort of takes notice of this, and it's just like, wait, shouldn't the initials be NS for Nicholas? Nicholas, after a while, builds himself up and says, "This was my sister's." Okay, I don't see the problem. She's supposed to be here, not me. And as he says that, it's sort of a sort of a oh shit, things kind of make sense now moment. It's why he was so distraught that everything was sort of falling apart. He's not even supposed to be here. He was like the backup plan for who was supposed to be here.
Oh.
Nicholas sort of shakes his head. It's like, my sister is so much more sure of herself, so much more talented. She's got so many the qualities of a skilled leader, all that, and she's the younger one. But unfortunately, when she was supposed to come here, she fell very ill, and I had to take her place. Oh, Nicholas, is she? She's fine. She's not in any danger, but I can't possibly fill her shoes. Marvin's sort of like, damn, Nicholas, that's. Nicholas's expression lightens a little bit. It's like, thank you for the kind words, Sid, but even if that's true, I can never shake the feeling of I was the backup plan. I was never the first choice. Lily's the one to put a hand on Nicholas's shoulder. Nicholas, it's okay. No one will ever fault you for not being the first choice. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Marvin will pitch in and be like, yeah, Lily's right. It doesn't matter if you weren't the first choice or whatever. You're here now, and you're here for your team.
Don't be worried that you were the backup. You were the alternate. Sorry, I'm just like I'm just thinking about a certain.
Nicholas sort of lightens up a bit. It's like, thank you all for the kind words. You're right. I need to stop holding myself to my sister's standards. Yeah, because she'd probably tell you not to do that. You're you're very right, Lily. She would tell me not to hold myself to her standards. Thank you all. This is the first time I've told anyone about this, and it feels like a massive weight just got taken off my shoulders. So thank you all. Marvin nods like, anytime. Lily nods and smiles at Nicholas. Nicholas will then look at Sid and is like, But speaking of leadership qualities, it appears I was right that you were the choice for your team. So I'd like to extend my congratulations, Sid. I certainly wouldn't have picked any differently. Aw. Yang pitches in. Aw, this is all nice and emotional. This is just so sweet. Nicholas just sort of points a finger without looking at her at Yang. It's just like, do not make one of your stupid puns and ruin this. Just like, perish the thought. Like, come on. Like, ruining a moment this bad? Ruining something like this? Like, come on. That'd be a sin, huh, Claire? Nicholas just buries his face in his hands like, God damn it. Even Lily deadpans just like, really? Yang's just laughing at her chair. Come on, gotta be me. Marvin's just like, why? Oh, all right. And that's where we're ending things with the group with Yang for now. Gotta end it on a Yang pun. All right. And that just leaves Peter's group. Thank you. I'll be here all night. Tip you, waitress. All right. So the transport carrying Peter's group arrives at its destination. It's a sort of enclosed camp deep in the woods. You land about, it's more like a 10, 15-minute walk from where it is, because there's not really much place to land right in the camp. You all get off and you're told relatively the same thing that the group with Yang was told, only you guys got about 2 hours instead of 3 or 1. I can count. I got high honors in math. I'm good at this. Numbers are indeed hard. So you all step off the transport, and Clover's just sort of like, we are really about to meet the leader of the White Fang, aren't we? Hayton's like, yep. I hear she's a really nice lady. Alrighty. So you all get your stuff together and you head to the camp. You arrive at the gate where two white Fang guards greet you. One of them steps forward holding a hand as like, halt, what is your business here? Clover steps forward and is just like, we were sent here from Beacon. I believe this was arranged by Miss Weishni. When Clover tells the guard that, it's like, oh, you must be the hunters and huntresses from Beacon Academy. My apologies. Just have to be safe than sorry, right? And it's just like, yeah, no, it's fine. All right, make your way in. He'll step aside and the gate will open for you guys. As you guys walk into the camp, you see just White Fang members all over the place working on like weaponry, some tending to injuries, stuff like that. The guard leads you to a very nice looking tent in roughly the center of the camp. All right, she's just in there. You can feel free to make yourselves in. He'll then step back to his duties guarding the gate. Clover sort of takes a deep breath in and is just like, well, here goes nothing, guys. And she'll be the first one to step forward and open the tent flap. Hello, we're here to see Miss Belladonna. You will be greeted by someone who jumps down from the ceiling with a blonde hair, a vest, and a monkey's tail. It's like, oh, you guys are here to see Blake, huh? You must be the hunters and huntresses from Beacon. Pleasure to meet you. Name's Sun. Clover will sort of confusing look at Sun. It's like, hello there. My name's Clover. Just wait a second. I'll go get her. Be right back. He'll then hurry deeper into the tent to go grab Blake. Peyton sort of perks up, just like, ooh, isn't that fondness that Blake allegedly totally likes? Clover's like, yeah, the name and face seem familiar. Clover sort of rolls her eyes and is like, knowing what I know about him, that's normal. Anyway, a minute passes, and then a Sun comes back with a woman, a black hair, feline-like ears, in a white sort of trench coat. She looks at all of you and it's like, oh, you must be the students that Weiss sent here to see me. It's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Blake Belladonna, and I am the current leader of the White Fang. Clover is looking at Blake, and to everyone but Peter, they look over at Clover, and she looks kind of nervous, though only Peter knows why. Well, anyway, please come in and make yourselves at home. All right. Now, as you walk in, much like Weiss did with Lilac, Blake will actually hold an arm out at Peter and be like, hey, son, could you take these three to my room in the back? I'll catch up with you in a moment. Like, yeah, sure, Blake. All right, you three, follow me. And Son will take Gilda, Peyton, and Clover to the room where they're going to meet later. Blake will then turn to Peter and be like, Peter, right? She'll sort of chuckle and be like, well, it's been a little bit. How are you doing? She's talking to you as if she's met you before and you're not, it's kind of confusing you. Blake will sort of chuckle and be like, well, that's good. Hey, listen. She'll sort of look you in the eyes and be like, I certainly hope that scrap I brought you was up to par. And then she'll wink at you. It shouldn't take Peter long to figure out what she's getting at. Blake will nod at you and be like, yes, I do apologize that I couldn't tell you who I was. It's become necessary recently to keep my identity concealed when I'm out in the field because of. And you can just feel the venom in her words as she says this. Because of Adam. Blake will soften up and look at you and be like, I didn't get the chance to say it back then, but I would like to deeply apologize for what happened to your village. I know it isn't easy, and I wish I could have done something sooner. Because that grim attack wasn't just coincidence. That was orchestrated by Adam. If I just knew sooner what he was up to, I could have. You can kind of tell from the way her voice is shaking, she partially feels like what happened to your village was because she wasn't able to act quickly enough. Blake looks at you and kind of scowls and it just says, "Oh, please do. It would bring me nothing but joy to see him finally dead." But we can get into that in a moment. Let's rejoin the others. All right, so Peter and Blake will go join Sun and the others. Blake will then walk up to the front of her room where there's sort of just a cork board with several pictures and strings connected to each other. All right, so Weiss sent you here to me because I need to inform you kids of something. She'll point to the center of the board where you see a picture of the same person that Yang had shown a SIDS group, the picture of Marcus. This is Marcus Singe. He's the one leading the operation of the Splinter White Fang. Sun will then chip in and be like, yeah, as you can tell, he sort of models everything he does after his idol, Roman Torchwick. Clover sort of confusingly looks up and's like, wait, so Adam isn't the one in charge? I can't possibly see him being the kind of guy who follows or Blake will cut Clover off and be like, oh, Adam doesn't give a shit about whatever Marcus wants to do. He only helps with operation for one reason. And what is to kill me? Oh. Blake will speak up and be like, psychopath is way too nice for Adam. He's beyond lost his mind. He doesn't care about anything or anyone. The only thing that drives him in life now is the chance that he'll get his hands on me so he can just violently rip my throat out. Clover sort of winces, just like, Jesus Christ, he's just obsessed with killing you at this point. Obsession, again, is honestly putting it lightly. Anyway, however, Marcus and Taurus are not the only ones leading this operation. There are two others, though we only really have information on one of the others. She'll point to another picture, this one of a small lady with crystal blue eyes and scarlet red hair, dressed in a lot of sort of golden orange clothing. This is Mary Auburn. She's another main operator of the Splinter White Cells operations. When Taurus is off on one of his hunt me down so he can disembowel me quests, Marcus will usually send all the important operations Mary's way. Well, sounds like at least one of them has their head on their shoulders. And Blake sort of scowls and is just like, yeah, it's a shame Adam still has his head on his shoulders. Like, you can tell anytime she has to talk about Adam, there's just, you can almost feel the venom just spurting out of Blake's mouth. And then there's one more person to this operation. She'll point to the bottom where she'll point to a woman in a cloak. We don't know who this woman is, but we know she's possibly the most dangerous person of this operation. No one's been able to make many reports because allegedly when she shows up, nobody survives. Sun will be the one to pitch in and be like, yeah, it's really nuts. And we have so little information, or we don't even know what she's capable of. We don't even have any plans to counteract her if we run into her. It's not, it's not good. Very not good. Clover's been thinking over something and finally asks Blake, so you've already given us plenty of reason why you hate Adam Taurus, but I feel like there's more to it. Sun will start to speak. I'll be like, yeah, let's not touch on that sub. It's fine, Sun. They should honestly know. Years ago, back when I was just a member of the White Fang, and so was Adam, we were partners. We went on many operations together. Some fairly in the right, most in hindsight not. But for a time, we weren't just partners, we were something more. But let's just say, while physical bruises may heal, mental ones never do. You all figure out what she means, and the room just goes fucking cold. Like, oh, holy shit. Sun just sort of sheepishly says, yeah, there's a reason she is not a fan of him. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that, Miss Belladonna. Thank you very much for your concern, Miss Sampson. All that matters now is we stop them. Remnant isn't safe as long as they're still at large. Peyton will be the one to speak up next and be like, I'm guessing you're telling us this because we might have to be the ones to deal with them? Blake will nod and be like, yes, that is exactly why I'm bringing this up to you. I don't feel good having to rope you all into this, but Marcus and especially Adam wouldn't hesitate to get you involved. So I figure it's best to get you prepared now. Anyway, that's all you needed to be informed of. I suppose until your transport returns, I can show you around the camp. Please follow me. As she's going to leave, Clover will stand up and be like, actually, Miss Belladonna, could you stay for a moment? And she'll look at Peter and it's just like, could you stay as well, Peter? Blake will turn and be like, well, all right. Son, please take the others outside. I will be along shortly. All right. Come on, you two. He'll take Peyton and Gilda outside the tent. Now, Miss Sampson, was it? What did you need to talk about? Clover will take a deep breath, like she's hesitating to tell her. She'll look over at Peter and be like, actually, I don't know if this was a good idea. Is there something you wish to tell me, Miss Sampson? Clover will take a deep breath and be like, actually, yes. Could you come here a moment, Miss Belladonna? Blake will nod and walk over to Clover. Clover will lean in and whisper the exact same thing she said to Peter to Blake. Blake's eyes widen. She actually takes a step back. It's like, oh, oh my. Clover's like, I figured of all people, you should know this now before it potentially gets out, because I don't need to be making enemies of you. Well, that is. You have my deepest sympathies, Miss Sampson. Thank you for telling me this now. Yeah, Well, there's one other thing I think you should know. And what's that, Miss Sampson? And then Clover will hold out her arm and turn her nails into Beowulf claws again. This startles Blake before Clover starts explaining. This was something that was implanted into me. Like I said to Peter, this isn't a gift I was given as much as I try to play it off as that. This was a curse that I just do my best to deal with, and sometimes I just can't. Sometimes it gets the better of me. We were dueling today, and if I'd been fighting anyone other than Peter, I probably would have lost control and hurt a lot of people. Blake just sort of stands there like she's trying to process all this. I, I I try to learn to control it, but every time I try, I risk losing control and potentially killing the people I care about, and I can't. This kind of instability I deal with is kind of one of the reasons I stepped down from being appointed my team's leader. My team deserves better than a leader that's just a ticking time bomb. Blake sighs and is like, I see. Well, again, I thank you for bringing this to my attention, Miss Sampson. Now then, let us go join the others. She'll walk out of the tent. As Peter goes to leave, Clover walks up to you and is like, hey, again, I'm sorry for being a total jackass, but thanks for the second chance. Clover will chuckle and be like, "Oh, I know Gilda could have kicked my ass. Honestly, I think you two are perfect for each other." She sort of smugly smirks and he's like, "In more ways than one."
Woo lad.
Ooh, lad.
But don't worry.
Be happy.
I wonder what's for.
Clover sort of deadpans this like, did he say? You know what? It's fine. I'm sure you'll figure out eventually. But come on, let's go catch up with the others. And she'll make her way out of the tent with you falling behind. You catch up with the rest of the group, and Blake turns to you and is like, "All right, well, I suppose it's time to give you the tour." And she'll start walking around the camp with you following her. Alrighty, that was a nice bit of plot. Okay, so just one thing left to do. Let's swing back to Millie and Lilac.
Okay.
So, eventually your group, along with Weiss, make it to the computer lab.
Hey, I like this already.
It's like, now then, if you'll give me a moment, there's something I needed to show you. Weiss pulls up to one of the computers. One that you can see is linked to a rather large monitor. She starts typing something, but then stops and wheels back in surprise, like, what on earth is going? You can see from the computer screen, it almost looks like they're being hacked. What? What on
Wait, there.
earth is the meaning of this?
This is I don't think this is normal protocol. Do you, where's the terminal for this thing?
I don't know. And then suddenly something comes up on the screen. It's basically just static, but you can hear a voice coming in like, "Yo, this thing on yet? Come on, tune it back. Come on, Mary. I know you're better at stuff like this." Weiss gets up. It's like, "Oh, you must be kidding me." Eventually, the picture will come in, and you'll see a man familiar to the other groups, fedora, pressed purple suit, and it's like, "Oh, well, there we go. The picture's finally in. Oh, hey, Miss Steen, fancy seeing you here." Marcus. Ah, come on, don't look so glum. I'm here to make everything better. How are you doing? State your business right now, Singe. Well, okay, sounds like someone's grumpy this morning, but all right. I tuned in to give you a little warning, Miss Schnee. Don't try and resist us, okay? Like, listen, you might think you have the connections and the advantage in the numbers game here, but to be honest, that doesn't really matter. I mean, despite the fact you have all of the White Fang and all the Atlas military on your side, we've still managed to get away with operation after operation. Really, it's starting to look pretty sad on your end. You can see Weiss is starting to get visibly angry. Just like, uh-oh. Hey, Mary, I think I'm touching a nerve here. She looks pretty grumpy. But you know what? I'm going to keep things brief with you, Weiss. Listen, just stop trying so hard. We're going to win eventually. You're just delaying the inevitable. I don't care how confident and sure of yourself you think you are, Marcus. We will find you and stop you. You can be certain of that. Oh, yes, because you've done such a bang up job so far, huh? Hey, Mary, the protocol running. Ah, excellent. All right, so thanks to Mary over here, this should be archived right now. I understand two of your groups of students are away, so feel free to show this to them when they get back. I'm sure they'll love it. And I mean, the ladies will be lucky to see a face this dashing. And every in the background sort of face palms. As you're all sort of mulling over what he's saying, he's just like he looks over, he's like, "Oh, you want to turn, man? Yeah, sure thing. Weiss, if you could just stay there for a minute, there's someone here who wants to talk to you."
What?
And Weiss is like, "Oh, which one of your lackeys wants to?" And Marcus will step off screen, and someone else will step on. He's dressed in black, has a mask over his face, and has a katana. You look at Weiss, and she grits her teeth so hard you feel like she's about to bite through her own jaw. Taurus. Well, well, well. If it isn't Little Miss Perfect, Weiss Schnee. Huh. I guess Blake's still hiding, huh? Well, next time you see your little friend, tell her I'm going to take pleasure in killing her when I find her.
Well,
Adam sort of looks over at Millie as she runs over to the screen, and he's just like, "Huh, you seem familiar. Oh, yes, you're from that pain in the ass little village, aren't you? Millie, I think was your name, right?" Adam sort of darkly chuckles, like, "All right, I'll give you credit. You got moxie, kid. But listen, you're in way over your head. You're all just kids. And apparently, because they can't fight their own battles properly, Weiss and her pals have to get you all involved. You know, it's kind of cold of you, Schnee, sending children to their death." Ebony's just scowling and walks up next to Millie. "You are a piece of shit and an absolute stain on Remnant. Everything will be fine when you're fucking dead." You know, it's cute how you kids think you're prepared for this. You aren't. Oh, well, I stand corrected. You're not being sent to your deaths. Apparently, you all just have death wishes. Kid, I'll warn you right now. Back off, or you will not survive.
really, all Lilac's doing in the back is like she obviously doesn't know these people, so she's just in the back, just observing this. Oh,
Lilac, you actually look over Dakota, and even Dakota looks visibly cross right now, looking up at the screen at Adam.
is there something wrong? Wait. Well, I mean, she knows. Actually, she does know Taurus, but she's not going to say anything. It's just like trying to keep composure. With Dakota, what's wrong?
Dakota's still scowling at the screen, just looks over at Lilac, just like, that man is everything wrong with Remnant, as Ebony said. He embodies the worst traits of what the White Fang used to be, and he's just an absolute bastard. This is the first time you've ever heard Dakota swear, so you know it's pretty
Uh,
serious.
oh. I know Taurus.
And
Let's
actually,
just say,
Adam will then look over at Lilac and be like, well, 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 is that Mr. Town's little daughter over there I see?
what do you want?
You know, most Faunist supporters would not make friends with your dad, but to be honest, I gotta thank him.
I kind of figured you would think that way.
Of course I do, because whether your dad realizes or not, he's aiding my operation.
by by falsely accusing people who were against you. I know that story. I'm I'm well aware of what he's done. So you think that I'm just like him because I'm his little baby girl or something like that?
Unfortunately, I know you're better than that. It's a shame. Having more free pawns is always a plus.
Just to let you know, I'm a little bit tired of this. I've had a rough day, you know. But if you want to come on by and get your ass whooped, I can accommodate.
The bravado is appreciated. Well, it seems you really know how to pick 'em, Schnee. Weiss, still absolutely furious, looks up at Adam and is like, I will be so happy when Blake finds you and fucking kills you.
Let's.
Marcus then walks back into frame and is like, well, this conversation's absolutely friendly, but I hate to cut your tirade short, Taurus, but we've got some things we got to attend to, so fine. I'll hopefully be seeing you all soon. And when that time comes, enjoy it, because it's going to be the last time any of you draw breath. And then the transmission will cut.
That man.
Weiss, still very furious, turns to Millie and is like, yes, Millie.
That man may not have done much to me. So help me if I see. I will. I will write. I will bring justice that my father could never hope to accomplish. I am. I don't. Millie.
And you're all just milling about the lab, just trying to soak all this in.
So much for a relaxing day.
Omae wa mou shinderu.
That man is. That man has nothing left to lose. I've seen. I remember everything now. That's just what makes it even scarier.
After Millie says that, Weiss will be like, to be honest, Millie, I don't think it'd be correct to say he was alive in the first place.
I don't know what. He's just hoping for this day did not pan out exactly at all. That's yeah, that certainly happened.
The sort of general silence is broken when you hear a monitor shatter. You look over and you see that Dakota just punched one of the monitors, the glass shattering and actually cutting his hand open.
Whoa. Dakota, are you okay?
You see that he's visibly shaking in anger now. And
Look,
Ebony looks over concerned. It's like, Dakota, what the hell? What is. Dakota takes a deep breath and says, that bastard killed my dad.
Shit.
Dakota's like, I'm lucky my mom's still alive, but that man took almost everything from me.
Dakota. We'll get back at him. It ain't gonna take, no matter what it takes. Don't. That man is a menace to all of Remnant. He will get what he deserves.
Dakota will actually grab you and he's gonna tug you tightly, and you can hear his breath. He's like on the verge of tears right now.
And Lilac will just return to. We'll be shocked. Then return to hug. It's like patting his back. It's like
I don't want to lose anyone else because of him.
you ain't gonna lose anyone else. Not your mom. Not your friends. Sure as hell ain't losing me.
And you can just barely hear, like you almost feel like you misheard it. You almost think you hear Dakota say, "Good."
Let's get that hand patched up.
Yeah, after all the emotion of fades over, Dakota's just like Ow. Okay. Why did I do that? That was kind of stupid. Ow.
And at that, and I like actually kind of laughs at it for a second. Oh, you silly person. Let's let's go get that. Let's go get you patched up.
Dakota first will look over Weiss and be like, so do I have to pay to replace that? And Weiss is like, no, it's all right, Dakota. I understand. Okay.
Well, I suppose we shall see you tomorrow, Miss Schnee.
Yes, I suppose we will. Though, before you all retire for tonight, I would suggest waiting by the fountain for the rest of your teammates. They'll probably want to see this as well.
All right. I assume you've all right. Yep.
All right, so time passes, and eventually the others will rejoin you. When they return, the four of you take them to the computer lab and show them the broadcast. Clover's the first to speak up. God, what a fucking prick.
That man has done so much. I can't believe not. My dad was. Oh, I feel so bad. My dad was indirectly helping him.
Nicholas will speak up and be like, it's all right, Lilac. No one is going to blame you.
Well, tell that to some of the people, some of the faunus I've seen. They immediately looked. They hate my guts for good reason.
Clover will actually turn to Lilac and be like, listen, we just met Blake. I can assure you she wouldn't hold this against you.
God.
Clover will nod and be like, Millie's right. And then turn to Peter and be like, yeah, it seems like in some way or another, all of us have a personal beef with that motherfucker.
I am so ready to 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 incinerate the face off of his body.
Peyton will be like, he seems like a really mean man.
And Peter, we'll get. I'll, I'll leave you once once I am done melting his face off, and once everyone else has their fill. I'm gonna. I could. Will personally leave what leave him as your punching bag.
Clover will be like, yeah, do whatever you want to him, but as far as killing him, leave him to me and Peter.
You know, unfortunately, I think we are in fact not ready just yet for a guy like him.
Lily will be like,
We
yeah, it's gonna be a while before we're ready to deal with him. I just hope we have enough time to prepare.
That's why we exactly. Exactly, Millie. You know, I'm actually gonna go over to Millie. It's like, you know, Millie, I remember the thing that I talked about with Weiss back then. If you saw what happened in the room, you can probably guess what it was about. Needless to say, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Going off what Sid just said, Clover would be like, Sid's right. And one more thing. Some of us didn't get off to the best start when we first came here, but that needs to end. If we're going to stop this guy, if we're going to make sure that the people we care about are safe, we need to work together. No doubts, no indifferences. We need to be a unit. And that starts today. Clover then put her hand forward. Lily will be the first one to put her hand in. Clover's right. We have to work together if we're going to keep our loved ones safe.
You know, I may have been a bit stuck up and full of myself back when, but I definitely feel that we are a unit that defies something team team leaders and all that. Though I trust in Sid over here to be a very skilled and effective and efficient leader. But we're we're in this together. As Lilac places her hand in.
Gilda will then put her hand in as well and nod to Peter.
Where's
The others will slowly follow. The last one to put in his hand will be Nicholas, still thinking about what he talked to Sid, Marvin, and Lily about. Marvin will speak up and be like, Nicholas, come on. You got this. Yes, you're right. And he'll finally put his hand in. After a moment, Peyton will be like, so I feel this is the part where we're supposed to say something on three and then throw our hands out? Clover smirks and is just like, all right, I got one for you. On the count of three, fuck Adam Taurus.
okay?
1 sec. All right. So you all got your hands in the middle, and Clover counts you down. 1, 2, 3. Fuck Adam
Fuck Adam
Taurus.
Taurus.
And roll credits for today.
Woo!
All right, that was great. We'll see you all next time.